Alright, last but not least, it's the friend character. Now, I have never drawn this guy's hair before, but just to give you a very simple idea of what it's going to look like, it's hair like this, with this weird sort of heart shape in the middle. But what's really exciting is that when he's not in the office, he's got a ponytail. So let's get rid of this sketch and let's try it seriously, shall we? Now, since I've got STYLEMAN-A's front view face up here, we'll just start with that. But the main aspect of the friend character's hair that we're going to learn from today is that he's got these tufts of hair arranged in a sort of heart shape at the front. I don't know if you would call these curtains. One curtain open to the side here, and another curtain open to another side over here. I'll just draw the hairline under here, strands of the hair going straight up, and then you've got the McDonald's M here in the middle, and then the strands of the curtains coming out to the side. So this is his hair when it's not tied up. It's when it gets tied up that I think it really comes into its own, because actually, as it stands, his normal haircut is just kind of a big, messy mop of hair, and you know, it's not too special. What is interesting is how the hair hole, the tsumuji is handled on this person's hair. So as I come over the top, I'm going to just do quite a simple line to show where the hair goes at the back. You know, I said that this guy's hair as a salaryman's not too exciting, but you know what? I actually really quite like it. What I find interesting really is this zone here at the top. So instead of how I've seen it drawn sometimes with these very short, small lines for the tsumuji coming straight down like this, what I see in this anime is like a zone of shadow. So you've got like some strand lines coming in like so, aiming towards this center point where the tsumuji is. But then you don't actually see any lines down here. Instead, what you see is shading. So I'm going to add some shading like so, and the shading will guide us into the bangs like this. So this is another strategy. If you find this zone kind of messy, you don't like, it's like not giving eyes a pupil. For the hair tsumuji, if you don't like having a line right here in the center, what you can do is what they do in this particular anime, which is kind of get around it by just showing a darkened, shaded area where the tsumuji stuff happens, and then it's just filled in like so. And I guess if you were using this for a manga style, you might fill this in with screen tone. Yes, it looks a little bit crazy at the moment, but you'll see in anime that this kind of does work. So I haven't drawn quite as voluminous hair as you see in the actual show, but what I want to do now is just move straight on to the 3/4 view. And the only reason I'm going to be doing that is to show you the ponytail aspect of this character. So I'm just going to put this back on the pencil and draw myself out a face at a 3/4 angle. Alright, StyleMan. Today you are Simple StyleMan. Super simple StyleMan. So the main thing about having his hair in a ponytail is that you will see all of this pulled back hair at the back. So before I do that, we're going to have the front of the hair, which is essentially the same as it was before, going up, then coming down, and then you can do anything you want with it, really. The main tufts of hair coming out like so, then going back in like this, with the hairline being drawn. It's a little bit higher than I expected, and on the opposite side as well. Might have drawn it a little bit too big, but it's okay to exaggerate, just to make my point. Starting to look a bit like Sephiroth, isn't it? And then it looks like straight from the back of the hair here, it already goes directly to the pulled back part of the hair. So I'm just going to draw out some volume for the pulled back part of the hair, and then draw all lines going toward the point where I would like the ponytail to begin. Something like this, I guess. Now this is the shortcut version when you have these straight lines, but it looks like in certain shots it's actually a little bit messier. Like, yeah, it's being pulled back in general, but they've still got some detail in the hair going all the way back like this. And then I don't actually have any good shots of how the hair is tied up, so I assume it's just in a, I don't think the word is ribbon, some sort of hair tie like this. In fact, you might not even be able to see. I think at this angle, it's very possible that you won't even see the hair tie, so I'll just skip it, basically. And then before I draw the ponytail, let's have some of these straggly bits that still come out the base of the hair. Now, I'm no master of the ponytail, and it's difficult to get an angle where I can see really how they've constructed this. But even though it is a ponytail, it's not just a simple line like this with, you know, strands like that. It seems like it still mimics the flicks and the tufts style all the way down into the ponytail. And as a small detail, you can also see a couple of these lines coming up from the hair tie. Something that is confusing me looking at the anime is, although I want to mimic this style, it doesn't seem consistent how they're treating this part of the hair here. Sometimes when zoomed out, it's completely pulled back and you don't have any stray strands of hair. But when you have a slightly more zoomed in shot, you still see all the tufts of random hair as if it weren't actually in a hair tie. Like, I feel like maybe if the hair is actually tied back tightly, you wouldn't actually see these strands like this. But I am not entirely sure. In general though, the main design concepts I'm seeing in this hair that I want to mimic for STYLEMAN himself is to have these main curtains at the front, the hair being either pulled back or in tufts like this, and then a giant ponytail in the back. And it's not a long ponytail, it's just a sort of, how would you say this? Tufty? It's a tufty ponytail. Because he doesn't actually have long hair. When he pulls his hair down, it still only comes down about this far. So when he's tying up his hair, it's going to be kind of just a messy tuft. Well, that is the word of the day, isn't it? And in addition to the M shape, let's give him his STYLEMAN S bend, shall we? MS. He's M&S man today. Now that is a dorky hairstyle. So that's my style challenge for today, using STYLEMAN-A's face. The main character's hairstyle is very simple, not too voluminous, ball of hair with the tufts at the front. But what I found particularly interesting is one of the friend characters who has a much more fluffy ball of hair, and particularly interesting was at the top, kind of hiding that messy zone where it goes into, you know, you can actually see the skin of the head sometimes. A very voluminous hairstyle that covers that area of the head. And then last but not least, going into the final character who has a hairstyle which is, again, not too dissimilar from the hairstyle I just showed you, but he also ties it up into, it's not really a ponytail, but a short ponytail, and particularly useful if you're drawing a sports manga or a manga with action scenes where you want to see their hair flicking around and really show how fast they're moving from side to side. That's all for this episode of STYLEMAN-A. Remember, everyone, to subscribe to Doki Doki Drawing. I'm going to be going hard on this series as I learn tons and tons about every possible anime style that I can grab my hands on. If you are interested to see more of this series, remember to bookmark the playlist and check out some of the other videos that we've already made in this series. But now we'd like to ask you, what anime are you watching here in 2022? What are you really excited to see for the rest of the year? And are there any cool hairstyles, eye styles, mouth styles, body styles, poses, clothing styles that you'd like to see that we can learn from and all become better at drawing? Let us know in the comments section. So that's all for today. See you next time. So you've got like a tuft of hair which is coming, like the origin is from the actual top of the head. What do you call this style? It's a mixture of cuteness and masculinity. Mascute? Is that a good word?